The State of Kuwait has always put great importance in promoting their cultural heritage and crafts, but recently the government and its leadership have called for the country to expand its efforts to include other continents. The World Crafts Council, in affiliation with UNESCO, was established to ease this craft movement to provide a better future to the craftspeople of the world. Sarah Glubb has more in this report.
Kuwait continues to place a huge emphasis on cultural heritage, and this is one of the desires of His Highness the Emir Sheikh Sabah Al-Ahmad Al-Jaber Al-Sabah, which comes in response to his belief that divergence between cultures brings them closer and highlights their similarities.
WCC is the World Crafts Council. It is a non-governmental organization and non-profit as well. And it was established in 1964 in New York. Whole World Crafts Council as a world, it comprises the 5, or we can say the 6 continents. So it's 5 regions we have in the World Crafts Council. The biggest is the Asia Pacific region, because Asia and South Pacific, Australia, New Zealand, Fuji, the islands of the South Pacific also are in this region, Asia-Pacific region.
Some of these crafts have existed for thousands of years and could one day face extinction if not cared for, which is why strategies and programs are needed to protect this human heritage, particularly for the youth.
It needs more efforts, to help the Sadu House, the Galalif, the other individual crafts people, all these societies. Of course, I have noticed that, these small businesses and the Ministry of Youth, they are becoming very active, as I read, and hear and see. In fact, in the Gulf countries where you have the oil, you have a main resource here. People don't like to go for the crafts unless one is an artist, and encouraged and so on. But this is very important that if the government is taking care of this to preserve the national identity, the heritage, the national heritage of the country, because we should not lose the national heritage anywhere, in any country, in a community even. One has to preserve it and then promote it.
Although crafts are probably not the answer to unemployment, they remain a great endeavor that deserves to top national development strategies.
World Crafts Council, we don't only have craftspeople coming, have a lot of seminars, conferences held everywhere. There are conferences on, let's say, natural dyes against, we are advocating, natural dyes rather than chemical dyes, because this has also to do with the environment. So we have other things than, just workshops and meeting with the craftspeople. These things, there are a lot of planning. There's also, we have the crafts education program, where there are academies, and especially for crafts.
The crafts sector has started to provide jobs and form the basis of income for some nations, and growing competition on the international scale has resulted in the formation of an African body tasked with developing these efforts in the African continent. Crafts are considered a major source of income for many countries, greatly contributing to GDP and economic and social development. However, it touches an essential humanitarian aspect, as it promotes patience, peace, love, and respect for one another. From the residency of Dr. Ghada Hijawi Qaddoumi, this is Sarah Glubb reporting for English News.